Are you a hardworking dad, juggling family responsibilities while dreaming of building wealth through real estate? Welcome to the Invested Fathers Podcast, where we explore how to balance investing and fatherhood. I'm your host, Kenny Johnson, founder of East West Capital. Over the past 5 years, I've been buying real estate to free up my time and secure my family's future. Now I'm here to help you do the same. Join me as we navigate the real estate world together, building wealth and strengthening our families. As my grandma always said, East West, home's best. Friday. Welcome back, everybody. How we doing? Here I am in the dining room today, and I'm recording our latest episode of the Invested Fathers. Man, it's been an awesome week. Great times with the kids. Work has been a grind, but hey, part of the grind in life is what you should be enjoying, right? So I actually am really enjoying it. I'm excited to talk to you about a few topics today. The first one is going to be personal development in what I'm doing. And along with that, I started a book called The Intentional Father. So I'm going to be highlighting a chapter in there called The 5 Kinds of Fathers. So let's just dive right in. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you paid somebody for a service that you could have just gotten free from online or YouTube University, they call it? What's the difference? For those out there that are able to just figure it out, they're curious, they don't like stopping until they've solved this problem. Sometimes all you just need is a book or a YouTube video to figure out what needs done. I, on the other hand, am more of the guy that needs collaboration, needs a coach, needs some accountability to get things done. So if you're like me, just having someone else in the room or someone that's waiting for you on the end of the virtual meeting can make all the difference. And we all know that time is one of our most precious resources. So it's no surprise that by bringing someone in with you, you can't expect to have that person sit there for free. Sure, there's tons of consultation meetings that maybe we all are a part of. I would say once every week or 2 weeks, I'll get an email saying, hey, or a text, hey, could I pick your brain on a few things? I know you're doing real estate. Can we just sit down and talk? So a lot of these meetings I have are just really good informational meetings to just say, hey, this is what I've done. What are you interested in? I'm so thankful that there's seeds that are planted all the time to get people into my world. And just so you all know, I'm in a position where I really enjoy helping people see the light of real estate. And this episode's not going to be all about how awesome real estate is, but man, it's changed my life. And there's even levels of real estate that have changed my life, such as knowing what not to do in regards to buying a lot of houses at once, the work it takes to take a dumpy house, find a dumpy house, and get it turned into something that you can sell for a profit. And I'm still continuing to learn some of these things the hard way. If anyone wants to reach out, love to just have a introductory meeting. Maybe this is someone that this is our first episode they've listened to, and you're like, who is this guy? What has he done? Check out some of those previous episodes. My origin story is episode 1, and that kind of gives you a little bit of my background in real estate. I'm excited about this coach that I've hired, and the goals are really to become next level self-aware, know my strengths and weaknesses and how I can better my relationships, connect deeper with people, my family, my kids, my clients, etc. And to tangibly have a personal mission statement and something that lines up with my business mission statement as well. My challenge to you is gamify some of your goals next week. And what I mean by that is give yourself some rewards and consequences to getting whatever it is that you're trying to get done right now. And I say gamify because this could be putting money down on something I've done with my workout buddy is I said, hey, if I'm not in bed by 10 o'clock at night, I owe you $10. And if I am in bed and I owe you money, then I can earn back that loss in $5 increments. Obviously, you can be as strict as you want, and your partner is maybe going to surprise you with saying, hey, you said this, and sorry, man, like I just got to keep to the rules. You weren't in bed by 10, or you said you were going to do this and you didn't. Pick somebody that I think is strict so that you actually can do what you want to do. The Intentional Father. It's a new book I just picked up. A friend of mine from church, Drew, recommended it. And it's specifically geared toward dads with sons. In fact, the subtitle is A Practical Guide to Raise Sons of Courage and Character. The author is John Tyson. It is a Christian book. On this podcast, we've had people from all sorts of different walks come and talk about fatherhood, what they're working on, what they've done poorly, what the tip or trick, how they were raised. The podcast is really geared toward just experiential knowledge and hopefully some encouragement, but also some guidance of what to do. This book has been awesome thus far. I'm only on like chapter 5, I think. It feels very wise in what the author has obviously dedicated a lot of his life into doing, which is being a good dad. And I just wanted to go over chapter 2 defines 5 kinds of fathers. So I wanted to read those and give you just a quick synopsis of it. Hopefully whetting the appetite of what this could be for you guys in reading this. I would invite you to read it with me, but let me just talk about the 5 kinds of dads that each representing different approaches to fatherhood. Here's the brief summary of each type. So the first one's called the irresponsible father. They all start with I. This father is absent from their children's lives, whether physically or emotionally. They avoid the responsibilities of fatherhood, leaving a significant void in their children's upbringing. The second type of dad is the ignorant father. This father may love their children, but he's uninformed or unintentional about parenting. They lack vision or strategy for guiding their children, often just going with the flow. The third one is the inconsistent father. This father is involved but inconsistent in the engagement with their children. They may be present at times, but often prioritize other things over their kids, such as a job, career, hobbies, and this leads to confusion and instability in the family dynamic. The fourth one, getting better, is called the involved father. This dad does a lot of things right. He is actively engaged in their children's lives, attending pretty much all their sports events, taking part in everyday activities, maybe making breakfast for them. However, they might still lack a clear vision or purpose in guiding their children towards maturity. Basically, intentions are great. He's actually putting action into doing things, but there's still maybe not a learned strategy or approach into guiding their children. The last one is called the intentional father, title of the book. The most ideal type, according to the book, this father is fully present with a strong commitment to raising their children with a clear, intentional plan. They guide their children through the rites of passage, mentor them, and prepare them for adulthood with purpose. So each type contrasts the intentional father, who models active, strategic, and nurturing fatherhood. And the author emphasizes the need for fathers to be deliberate in how they raise their children, with a focus on character formation and spiritual growth. Again, this is a Christian background book, but I have had a few guests actually approach me with the follow-up question of, hey, I love what you're doing with the show. Could you maybe point me in some resources into being a better dad? Or maybe there's some spiritual questions of, hey, you've mentioned your faith here. Maybe my faith is not quite what yours is. I wonder if I could learn more regarding how you're doing things spiritually. I love those conversations. Obviously, with the guests is one thing, but if anyone listening has some similar thoughts, would love to engage and bring some conversation around this whole idea of being an intentional father. And I will point you to this book, even though I have not finished it yet. It's been a great resource thus far. Something else I listened to last week that I thought was really cool was a TED Talk from a 7-year-old. Now, I didn't take a lot of notes on what exactly the different points of this little girl's speech was about, but it was really cool. It was probably about 7 minutes. I ended up getting some Instagram algorithm, I'm sure, post on it, but she talked about the importance of a child's brain developing from ages 0 to 5. And one of her hook lines was, playing peekaboo with your kid can change the world. And the whole point is, when your kids are young, engaging with them, loving them, giving them focus and attention early and often is crucial in their development. And one of the things that I'll challenge you guys on in this is, she contrasts what a dad who is engaged and loving, peekaboo, smiling, touching, versus a dad who's on the phone or looking at a screen. And they actually had a live father son. The kid, I think, was maybe like 1.5 or 2. When the dad pulls out he's on the ground playing with the kid, but when he pulls out the iPad or the screen, the kid doesn't understand why he disengaged. And the kid ends up like crying and looking super sad while the dad is just like a robot looking down at his phone. And I realized this was put on screen. It was staged to some degree. Obviously, the 1-year-old wasn't staged. He was just crying. But I'd ask you guys, when was the last time that happened? And how can we mitigate this? One of our guests, TJ Burns, had said one of his recent things he's working on has been to just not have a phone with him around his kid, who I think is like 16 months or something like that. So TJ, props to you for saying that, for doing that, for working on that. And hey, obviously it doesn't matter if they're 0 to 5 or 5 to 20. Being on the phone just disengages you with anyone in the room. Yeah, there's times at work and we could do a majority of our work on the phones, but let this just be a shout out to limit or remove the phone time as much as you can when you are with your kids. We have some more really exciting guests coming up over the next few weeks. I hope you've enjoyed the 9 episodes that have been put out with guests over the last 3 weeks. I'm really trying to crank those out for you guys, and I've really enjoyed it. Call to action this week is, if you guys are still on the fence about investing in real estate, I know I've said it a lot, but sometimes you just need to hear it over and over. I have really 2 tiers of deals that I bring private money lenders, such as potentially yourselves, into deals. People who are looking for some tax breaks, accredited investor, someone who's high earning and is looking for a safe place to put their money, would love to help get to know what your goals are, what your criteria of different investments are, and maybe try to connect the dots there. And then for maybe some new investors, I'm still actively investing locally in the Greenville, South Carolina market. Sometimes it just helps to get your foot in the door, understand what it looks like to invest in real estate, but get scared when you start talking about $100,000 being the minimum, which is what a lot of my syndication investments are. Not all of them. And you don't have to be an accredited investor to do syndications, but most of the deals that I come across are that way, just because they're bigger dollar amounts. So if just getting into a deal is something that you're interested in, let me know, because I have more than one deal local right now that I'm working on. And sometimes just coming into my world through doing a smaller investment helps build that confidence with the goal of doing bigger things together. My call to action would be to message me on LinkedIn. You can find me there, or Instagram. Health-wise, just taking the next step on being healthy. The more research I do and the more benefits I feel from my diet, making good decisions, sleeping, resting. Man, the last episode I talked last Friday about my fears of being like the lazy dad or the sleepy dad, and how my energy level is so important. I've actually been really encouraged that I think just sharing it with you all last week has helped me take some more action into that approach. And hey, if we want to be intentional dads out there, our health is very important. So those are my words for this week. Thank you so much for being a part of the audience today. I'm excited about the future with you all. And hey, if you've enjoyed this episode, go ahead and leave me a review. I'm really trying to get some more reviews in there. And I'm trying to just level up lights, camera, background, all the good stuff to make this entertaining show. If you haven't checked anything out on YouTube yet, I'm on YouTube. And even Spotify has a visual on some of the episodes. So the Nathan Crockett episode that I posted a few weeks ago, episode 30, you can see the visual of that. In fact, I think I put in some extra footage from that interview. Not that you need to listen to it twice if you've already listened to it, but hey, it was really good. And if you haven't checked that one out yet, go and check out that one on Spotify if you want to see it. And I appreciate you all. Take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Invested Fathers Podcast. If you liked this episode, we would love for you to click subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. We appreciate all of your hard work as a father and look forward to our next episode together.